The typhoon is gone. Hong Kong racing is back with a bang this weekend. Group racing appears for the first time this season. It's a busy racing to win. We're going around the world on the show today, but we're going to start locally with the boys in the studio, Paul Ellie and Nick Child. And Nick, 11 races and plenty of quality about it.
There certainly is, Mark. Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's a real bumper card. 11 races upcoming, and well, the feature race, which we'll get to in due course on this show, looks at an absolute cracker. It's as good a renewal, I think, you'll see of this race for many a year.
And that is going to be the race that we focus on today's program. And Paul, you're going to bump it up more with some jackpots.
Yeah, there's three really good jackpots here. We've got 1 million going into the fifth double trio, 3.8 million going into the 6-up win bonus, so that should get over the 10 million mark. And in our feature race, race number 8, there's 500,000 going into the quartet and first four merge pool. So all in all, there's plenty of money floating around. And as you say, that's probably the best race of the season so far, race 8.
We start our racing to win, racing around the world segment right now by heading to Japan, and Hong Kong Jockey Club racing rider Declan Schuster joins us. He's over there with Lucky Swainess. How's life in Japan, Declan?
Yeah, no, everything's going great. The weather's such a contrast to what you've had in Hong Kong. We've had blue skies, sunshine, couldn't have been more perfect, and track work each day. We've had Lucky Swainess on the grass pretty much all week, which was his trainer's choice. With the JRA opening the grass track for him every day. So, no, everything's been good. There's been a fair bit of confidence and happiness from the team, and I think everyone's just really enjoying themselves. Connections, owners, everyone, they've all got their own personalised merchandise, so they're all having a great time.
Locally, is there a lot of interest in him being trackside?
Yeah, there is. I mean, we're talking about a horse that was obviously, he was the best sprinter Hong Kong had or has, and probably in the world as well. So they're all excited to see him too. He's a 4-time Group 1 winner. Seriously good horse. Of course, we know he's a 7-year-old now. He's had a few setbacks, but he's sparingly raced. He looks like he's got a bit of energy here in the mornings. Lots of media here to see him as well. They're always here to take photos of him, and he looks like he's taking it all in his stride. He's got a bit of swagger about him, and he just looks really happy. Less sweat as well. He doesn't look as worked up. He looks a bit calm. I think the climate's probably helping him in that sense. So, no, it's all good here.
His last start in Hong Kong, Declan, he's run on really well behind Ka Ying Rising, so he takes super strong local form across to Japan.
Yeah, he does, absolutely. Closed off nicely there. That was his first up run. But there's been a sentiment all week, I think, in Japan that he's improving and that he's improving. And I think McManford, the team, the owners, I think they all believe that from that run, he's going to go even better this start. Every day they've been feeling that his condition has improved and improved and improved. So it sounds like he's going to be cherry ripe for the weekend and ready to go.
Let's talk about some of the competition. We have seen a few of them in Hong Kong before, including Lugal and Satono Rave, who is he going to be the favourite for the race?
I'm in Japan. It sounds like he's definitely going to be the favourite, probably around the $2, $3 mark. Reports are that he's come back from Royal Ascot in very good order, that he's ready to go. He's still got to handle, obviously, a high-pressure race at Nakayama. He was okay in last year's edition. I think most of the field will run off their feet with the 3-year-old stringing them out, but he closed off all right. It's a unique track. He gets a good gate and he gets a good chance, so he should run well. Lugal's been dealt the wide draw, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge. And it's a big field as well. So, there's a lot of chances in this race, and the race shape tends to determine who's going to win. I think you don't really want to be any worse than 6th in the run. Otherwise, you're not really going to have a chance because it's a short 300-metre straight. It's a little bit of an uphill too. So it's a very unique course and a very unique contest.
It is a race, Declan, that Hong Kong is no stranger to having success in the past too.
Yeah, absolutely. 2005 we had Silent Witness, and in 2010 we had the first all-local combination of Alex Lai and Ricky Yu team up with Ultra Fantasy, who was an 8-year-old as well. So older horses do have a decent record in the race. I think Takeover Target from memory was 7 as well. So same age as Lucky Swainess. So he's got a bit of that on his side as well. And adding to it, Gate 10, which he's been drawn, there's been 5 winners since 1990 from there, so not impossible.
And you're going to have all the news between now and Sunday for us on the various Hong Kong Jockey Club websites and social platforms.
Absolutely, as always.
Declan, thanks for joining us, and enjoy Lucky Swainess Day on Sunday at Japan.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Big thanks again to Declan Schuster joining us live from the Nakayama Drive-In Motor Lodge in Japan, talking Lucky Sway Nest. Now, the meeting in Sha Tin on Sunday looks as this. We've got the 11 races. As you can see, the gap between races 4 and 5 is to allow for the simulcast of the Sprinter Stakes. From Japan, we're going to focus on the Celebration Cup, race number 8, the Group 3 over the 1400 metres. Here is the field for the Celebration Cup. Happy Together is at the top of the book. Co-partner Prance carries 16 more pounds than he did when he won the Premier Cup at the same level 2 starts ago. Patchef, that is a 5-time course and distance winner. Victor, the winner, has the blinkers off. Packing Hermod has the blinkers off and the visor going on. Sunlight Power, My Wish, makes his first appearance of the season. Pray for Mer has a good record when he races second up. Light Years Charm is minus a crossover noseband. So good field, Paul. 14 runners. How do they sit?
Yeah, very competitive here. Co-partner Prance likes to lead over the 1400 metres. Victor, the winner in the old days, he would have gone straight to the front and set up a really good pace, but he sort of lost a little bit of his early speed, so he might just have to sit outside co-partner Prance. Although Pray for Mer will be hoping he does go on with it because that'll let him get in. Just a little bit too short here, the 1400 for Pray for Mer. Packing Hermod can put himself into a nice place. My Wish is very tractable because he has gone back in the past, but from a low draw, he should get a nice run just in behind. Ruby Lot, Devano, Mark Wynn, from their draws, all have to go back.
It's been a race, Nick, in the past where we've had some big name winners and some not so big name winners.
Yes, for sure. Look, and I mean, one of the biggest on that graphic, of course, is Golden 60 back in 2020. But prior to that, Beauty Generation amazingly won 3 of these, Paul, as well.
Yeah, look, good horses always win, and this was always a good starting point for the good horses for the new season. So the last couple of years, as you say, there have been like Healthy, Happy, and Buddies was a bit of an upset when he won. But prior to that, the good horses won this race.
Special piece coming up right now. We go racing around the world once again. The lovely Olivia O'Sullivan from World Horse Racing spent some of the off-season in South Africa catching up with Luke Ferraris and the family, and also filed a report on his association with Mark Newnham and My Wish.
It actually started in Hong Kong with Dad when I was growing up there at a very young age. That's where I think the bug initially bit. Went to school and did all of that, and at the age of 15, when I was of age, I went to the academy, still with the dream in mind, and that's where it started to take off.
He's got big race temperament, and I think that's basically what probably got him into Hong Kong as well, because he was riding as an apprentice Group 1 winners.
The prestige and the crowds at the Hong Kong racing attracts was a big factor. You want to go and race there, and you see how competitive it is and how challenging it is.
He had his mind set on being a jockey, and that's what he wanted to be, and that's what we allowed him to be. We try to keep him in high school as long as possible, but it got to the stage where I was getting these WhatsApps at 1, 2, 3 in the morning because he was in South Africa and asking, please, Dad, please send me to the academy. And then one day we just decided, well, this can't carry on, we need to make a decision, and we sent him. It was the best decision we ever made.
It's always been the dream to sort of get to Hong Kong, especially being the sort of mecca of racing and growing up there, and that was sort of life. Initially walking back, it was, you know, it didn't feel foreign. It felt like I was back home.
No, I'd never met Luke prior to my arrival. One of the things that sort of drew me towards using Luke not long after I arrived was watching him out of the barriers. He's a very good barrier jockey. He wins the start a lot, and not on horses that generally are fast beginners. So that's something that some jockeys have and some don't. So if you've got a jockey that can get them out of the gate well, like Luke, it's certainly an advantage.
I think a lot of credit has to go to Mark Newnham. I think Hong Kong's a tough place to get good rides, and you need a trainer to kind of stick their neck out for you. And he gave me the springboard that I think every jockey needs when they come to Hong Kong, to get on the better ones and stay on them. I think it was more important. And he gave me those opportunities, and it's been great to repay him. But it's also set me up for racing in Hong Kong with other trainers, and Mark was the trainer that did that for me. So his relationship has meant a lot to me.
It is My Wish in front. Davano screeching up the inside. My Wish is in front of Davano. My Wish for the Classic Mile.
He arrived as a small, temperamental horse that needed a little bit of TLC, but he's come a long way. He's now, looking towards running in the group races this season, and hopefully getting towards the International Group 1 mile in December. He's really determined for a small horse, and a lot of his early wins, horses would get within half a length of him and couldn't get past him. So he's got, he's got great will to win, and that's something that you can't train into them. That's something they want themselves.
He should go well. If he takes a break like we think he will, and give him a freshen up and hopefully strengthen up a little bit. He's a small horse, but his heart makes up for whatever he lacks elsewhere. But I think this new season coming, he can take that next step.
And you can see the full story on the World Horse Racing social pages on Luke Ferraris, Mark Newnham and My Wish. But the boys' thoughts on My Wish, Nick, where's he at leading into what is essentially his second go on the big stage outside of the 4-year-old series?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and do you know what? It is tough. I mean, I think if he hadn't had that run after the 4-year-old series and really proved himself as being able to sort of, show up and run well, then you might just query him a little bit more. But for a horse who's never weighed more than 1,000 pounds, Paul, he's great value for money, isn't he?
Oh, definitely. Look, he won 4 races last year. He won at the start of the season over the 1,200 metres. He probably should have won the Derby. Just a barrier draw beat him. So he did race up to the 2,000 metres. 2 wins over 1,400 metres, and that's the distance of his race coming up on Sunday. And the worst he ever did all season was a 4th in a Group 1. So, I mean, he's such a consistent and honest horse. He's one that you'd like to own because he tries hard.
And that vision we saw was one of his 2 trials leading into this week's race. The combination, Paul, of Luke Ferraris and Mark Newnham. Will start with Luke's rides on the weekend. Is there a winner or 2 amongst them?
Yeah, look, I mean, I like My Wish. I think he can win. It's a real hard race. Vivacious Win, he could be a bit of a roughie. He's only had the 2 starts. Watch this one. Didn't go too badly at the back end of last season. And I'm going to give Patch of Time a bit of a chance. He'll be a bit of a price. I've actually thrown him in my numbers because he has won second up in the past.
And what of Mark Newnham's runners for the meeting? So Paul's spoken about Luke. What are your thoughts on Mark's runners, Nick?
Yeah, well, look, obviously the standout is, of course, My Wish at the bottom of that graphic. He starts with Not the Silly One, of course, who's very well named. He's been in good form when we last saw him. And he's got a busy end to the card as well. A couple in race 9, Sing Dragon, Midwinter Wind. I'd probably fancy the latter maybe on the surface. And in the penultimate, he's got Armour War Eagle, who can always pop up. He's got a good winning record, but he's capable. He's
very consistent, is Armour War Eagle. That has been the first part, a busy racing to win. We'll take a break and come back and continue to celebrate the Celebration Cup right after this. We are back on Racing to Win, focusing on a Celebration Cup race day at Sha Tin. Before we get back to the group feature, Paul, the last run reminder is who, what, where, when this week.
We're going to go early in the card. Race number 2. Horse who's only had limited starts here, which is Encanto Star. Now, he raced at Happy Valley, so they're going to move him. There he is here, slightly slow away, as you can see. Now, he's coming down the straight 1,000 metres coming up on Sunday. He has drawn the inside gate, so he'll probably go back as well. But look, this is a really good 4th from him. This is his only run. This is his debut. You can see him. He stuck to the rail and he came through. And I thought he definitely outrun his odds. He was a big price here this evening. And coming now down the straight 1,000 with another year under his belt, he could pop up at a big price. So just wanted to highlight him. If it's not this race, there'll be one coming up very shortly for him.
One to follow, that's for sure. Race 2, number 12, Encanto Star, if you're after some decent money leading in to an early race. Back to the Celebration Cup we go right now. I've got an interview first up. Nick is done with trainer David Eustace.
David Eustace, the Celebration Cup is our feature race coming up on Sunday. You field a couple of runners. Let's start with Light Years Charm. He's come a fair way in a short space of time, this horse, David.
Yeah, he has. He's obviously, he's gone through the grades really well, and found some nice races and good speed on his races, and as a result, been able to put in good performances. But well aware this is a different kettle of fish. What he's competing against at the weekend, so he needs to step up.
He does. I mean, he's up to a triple figure rating out of 100, so he certainly earned it. Talk me through his recent trial. He beat another of today's or Sunday's rivals, Theta, in that trial. He looked pretty good. Yeah,
he did. I mean, his trial's been good. Zach's been happy with him. Everything's gone smoothly. So yeah, there'll be no excuses. I mean, he will improve for it. He hasn't run for a while, like most of them, but I haven't sort of fully screwed him down. But he's ready to run out of a strong 1400.
I know it's not Group 3 form, but you would have, I'm sure, been pleased to have seen Lowrider win recently. Obviously, he finished behind him when he last ran. Chucha Spirit was 6th. He's come out and run well. So the form's certainly been franked. It's solid, but as you say, this is another level, isn't it, really?
Yeah, he's beat some nice horses along the way. And, looking forward to seeing if he can step up and for the whole season ahead, really.
Cross noseband comes off, David. Why so?
Just he doesn't need it anymore. Had it on early just to help the rider and give them a bit more control, but he's such a relaxed horse now that it's just not required.
Okay, he's going to be joined by Victor the Winner. Where are we at with him, David, at the minute? I mean, he's not looking like the Group 1 Victor the Winner that we know and love, but whereabouts is he at the moment?
Well, I was sort of pleased with him towards the end of last season and thought he was sort of coming back to a bit of form, and I thought he would, show us something in his first run, and he really basically raced sort of disinterested. I had a bit of a query as to whether the blinkers were at the right move, and he certainly sort of showed the other day that they were not having a positive effect at all. So they come off and kept him nice and fresh. I was sort of hoping maybe the pace of 1400 might just suit him now, but he certainly needs to show something at the weekend.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to see him at 14. I mean, all his best form obviously is 12, but I guess you'd want to see him do something here, really, wouldn't you?
Well, I just want to see him at least jump and travel at 1400 metre pace and show that he wants to do it. And if he doesn't, then we'll have a chat with his owner.
That is Victor the Winner. Crunch time for him, Paul. But what about the stablemate Light Years Charm? We've got Light Years Glory in as well, but Light Years Charm's the one for me.
Yeah, got to be a bit careful. Look, he won 4 races last season, including the last 3. He started off at a rating of 64 when he arrived here, ran 5th on his debut, and that was the worst performance he did since then. Such a consistent horse, and now he's up to 100 rating. I don't know where his ceiling is. He keeps winning, so you can't write him off.
No, you absolutely can't. I can totally echo Paul's comments there. You don't know how good he is, really, and you just keep seemingly finding a way to win, and David's done a great job with him.
He has indeed. He also has, as we heard, Nick, in your interview, Victor the Winner in the race. Now, this is his last start in the HK SAR Chief Executives Cup. Devano ran on well from the back for 3rd, and co-partner Prance has won at this level previously.
He has, yeah, look, and I mean, co-partner Prance is a very honest type of horse, of course, and provided King DeMello with a nice win, didn't he, at the back end of last season. Look, cracking run from Devano to get within hailing distance, of course, of Kying Rising, and I think just going back to Victor the Winner, it's a tough job to really know where he's at. We know he's been a good horse, Paul, but he's not showing the same form.
Yeah, he's definitely in the twilight of his career, isn't he, Victor the Winner? Devano, look, there's so many. It's who you left out in this race, because there's so many chances, and he can make a case for a lot of horses, and it was a really good run from Devano, but he's going to get back from a wide draw.
This one's been one of yours, Paul, throughout. Mark Wynn, harder this week. He goes up in grade, but has winning form, and Prey Fameux also in this replay.
He's going to have to produce a career best to win this, Mark Wynn. The positive, he's only got 116. He won 3 times last season. Barrier 11, he's going to get back as well. Look, I just think some of these other horses will get first run on them.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree. I think of all of them, I mean, it's a very compressed handicap when you look at it. I mean, he's probably the anomaly down there on 91. He's £4 off Johannes Brahms. He wasn't even racing this time last year, so he's done a fairly good job, hasn't he, really? And as for Prey Fameux, good luck to the Sows there who owned him. They're very sporting owners, and I just feel he might want further, though.
That is that replay. Nick, this trial has a number of horses, moments in time. Johannes Brahms Ruby Lot, Happy Together, ends up running third. Covered some ground in this trial and Sunlight Power fourth. Which of the 5 took your eye from this trial?
Yeah, well, I mean, I suppose you start with the winner, I guess. The fact, judged on this trial, moments in time winning it, but he's 0 from 12 Sha Tin, and he would want further. So I think he's one that you could probably rule out with a little bit more confidence than some. Look, Sunlight Power's a horse you certainly know, Mug, and Happy Together. He hasn't fluked his rating of 110, Paul. He's an honest horse who's won 6 times.
Yeah, look, Ruby Lot. Now, he won fresh up over 1,200 last season and culminated in the second in the Champion and Traders Cup, over 2,400 metres, double the distance. So it shows how versatile he is. He's got a good fresh record.
Now, that's a good report for Ruby Lot. Here's another trial, Paul. This is Packing Hermod. This is another very smart horse, and he comes here with an unbeaten first-up record.
Yeah, 3 from 3 for Packing Hermod. He's drawn 7. He's got good gate speed, so he's going to put himself just in behind the pace. Blinkers off, visor on, another really good chance.
For sure. Look, hard to add much more. Obviously, Mark's made mention of the fresh record, 3 from 3. It's unblemished. Interesting, the visors replacing the blinkers. Don't mind that too much. Obviously, it probably Francis and his team have probably just thought that maybe a change would suit him. They're a mile clear there of the third, and well, he was only a half a length off My Wish and a 4-year-old mile, wasn't he? So he's actually rated £2 higher than him officially as well. So for me, there's not a huge amount between the pair.
All right, that's an in-depth look at the Celebration Cup. It's hard to narrow it to 4, Paul, but who have you gone?
So I'm going to go with My Wish on top here. This horse, I think he's going to get the best run in the race, and whoever does will win the race, that's for sure, because there's plenty of chances. But he is a 2-time 1,400 metre race. Light Years Charm, he's just onwards and upwards. Nice draw, barrier 2. Packing Hermod with that unbeaten fresh record. And then Ruby Lot from the back, I think he'll be running on strongly. Really good race this, Nick, but I went 8, 12, 6 and 9.
Yeah, great race upcoming. Looking forward to it indeed. And well, Packing Hermod is the one for me with that unblemished fresh record. I think it could be a big season for this horse. Brenton Abdullah jumping on board here over My Wish, who had a wonderful 4-year-old campaign and has backed it up with a very good run when we last saw him. Light Years Charm has to go in, and Patch of Theta as well. 6, 8, 12, 3.
4:35 local start time for the Celebration Cup at Sha Tin. A reminder, everything you need's on the website, hkjc.com, including race-by-race previews. Paul, best bet?
Going to go with a horse called Blazing Wukong. He's only had the 2 starts, this horse. He won really impressively on debut. That was over the 1,200. Had another race there, and he's ran a really good, solid 5th. The trial's been really good. He looks like he's improved a lot in the off-season. 1,400 metres at this stage looks absolutely ideal for him. He's a big horse. He's got to carry the weight, but he's over 1,200 pounds. He should be able to carry it. I think he can win. So Blazing Wukong. And the long shot we're going to make is Triumph for More. He's out of form at the moment, but he's got a really good fresh record and drawn nicely in barrier number 3. And we'll do the play in the last with Yuan Long Elite, Beauty Bolt and Fortune Boy in a QQP.
Best bet for me coming up on Sunday, race 7 number 4, Little Paradise. Now, flag this fellow up as a horse to follow for the season. I think he's certainly worthy of that. He's only had 4 runs. He's won a couple of them. Here's his most recent trial, doing it very nicely here. Zach Purton will jump on board, and when he teams up with Jimmy Ting, albeit not that frequently, will usually come away with some good results. So nice 4-year-old disc going forward over sprint trips. Little Paradise is the best bet. To the value, race 4 number 9, Jolly Companion, drawn wide. But Brittany Wong's got a real affinity with this horse. Hopefully he can get the job done there at a price. And the play, we go straight win. Race 9, Gorgeous Win.
Best bet, South Star, like the trial, letting into his first up run. 2-time winner from 7 starts, Zach Purton for Frankie Law. Didn't win the trials from Vivacious Win either. Only had the 2 starts last time in a gear adjustment with him. And the play, race 10, the Flying Beauty Crescent, South Star and Top Time, who was unlucky last time in a QQP. That has been racing to win for Sha Tin on Sunday. Nick, we're back there on Wednesday.
We are, indeed, yes. National Day. And the National Day Cup is the feature there of Group 3. So always a nice race, that one, Paul.
Yeah, plenty of fireworks coming up on the Wednesday, so it should be a really good meeting.
It should indeed. That has been racing to win. Big thanks to both Nick, Paul and to you as well. We'll see you at Sha Tin on the weekend. A reminder, it's an early start time, 12:45 the first.